Just got the new HX STOMP in for the guitar players to use. For whoever is playing guitar, I asked Joel to take it home to put some presets into it. And I'm hoping it's stuff that you guys can find useful if you ever are using the Stomp. So I'm just gonna kind of go over what I've done, and hopefully it's something that makes sense to you guys, or it's something you would want to use. Um, but I'll just go button by button. Um, First of all, I'll just kind of show you my signal chain here. I've got a compressor going into the amp, going to a guitar cabinet, going into a delay, um, a pitch shift, and then a reverb. Real quick on the compressor, I always put a compressor on because it helps even out the strings, the volume of each string. That way, if your pickup looks a little wonky or is in your guitar a little wonky, it'll pick up everything kind of nicely. Um, so on foot switch one, what I've done is I've made a control or told foot switch one to change parameters on several things on the amp. So this is my clean signal, and just to let you know, my clean signal is going to be a little dirty. I'll roll back the volume to clean it up, or put the volume all the way up to give kind of like a first stage drive. So volume back a little bit. Volume all the way up. Now, if you see on the screen here, you'll see me engage it, and you'll see the parameters change. It doesn't just change the parameter on the amp. I've also had it change the parameter on the compressor to boost up in signal, so it kind of pushes the amp even harder. So you'll kind of see it here. There's parameter changes. You'll see that this bumped up a little bit too in dB. So here's the parameter change and what it sounds like. So this is like a second stage drive. So that's my first state, or the first button, foot switch button is going to be just more drive. So I'll turn that off. Second button, I've have it for both the reverb. This is for Mark specifically because he asked me to make sure I put the big verb in there. So actually, let me turn that delay off real quick. Kind of hear that decay. It's really quick and short, just enough to give it some space. So I'll turn the delay back on for a second to add for the effect. Once I turn this on, it's going to turn on the pitch, and it's going to put more decay and volume in the reverb, and it's going to give that big washy sound. The pitch kind of adds a little shimmer to it, so this is what you're going to hear. Anyways, so that's the pitch shift and the reverb being maxed out there a little bit, so you kind of understand how that works. For the third switch here, I have it controlling the delay. So in most worship music, you have delay on all the time, most of the time. So I basically just used one delay here, so I didn't take up too many blocks because you're limited to 6 on the stomp. but I just had it change parameter from the note sync to a dotted eighth note. Brought up the feedback a little bit, so I had a little more decay to catch up, and the mix a little bit. So it kind of helps ping pong that sound on a dotted eighth. So just so you can kind of hear it, quarter note. Just kind of make it real quick. And then we got the dotted eighth note. Actually, let's. Anyways, just goes back and forth between those two. Anyways, going along here with the foot switch, the 2 extra buttons I've added on too. The first one's kind of a clean boost, so if you're doing some wicked guitar solo, you don't. This what this does is it takes the main outputs and adds volume to it, just 3 dB. So just kind of hear the volume difference. So anyways, foot switch 4 is a boost for a guitar solo or what have you. And finally, the last foot switch, I moved the tuner and the tap tempo to foot switch 5. So you can kind of see on the screen here how the tempo changes. And it won't show on the screen here, but if I hold it in, the tuner on the stomp will come back up. So that's the way I have it set up for now. There's no quick way that I know of to put this to where you can change presets other than kneeling down and turning the knob to go to the next preset. But like I said, this is just the way I have it set up. You guys can do whatever you want with it, but hopefully that helps you out. I'm hoping to next change it to where if you guys are bringing pedals in, you can just plug directly into this and use just the amps built into the Stomp. Because obviously I'm a big pedal guy and I've seen a couple of you guys bring your pedals in. So hope this helps. Thanks.